Welcome to the demonstration video of DeskManager's Deal and Trade features. We shall begin this demonstration with an overview of the different methods for selling vehicles in DeskManager. There are a number of ways to begin the new deal process, depending on the type of deal that is desired. The first method for selling a vehicle can be found inside a vehicle's details. We can access the vehicle's details screen by double-clicking its line on the inventory list. When viewing the vehicle details window of a vehicle we wish to sell, we can click on the New Deal button found at the top of this window. This will open a new menu where we can choose to bring the vehicle into a new retail deal or a new wholesale deal. The next method of beginning a new deal is available when looking at the inventory page. Begin by right-clicking anywhere along the line belonging to a vehicle in your inventory list. The program will then open a menu of things that can be done to the highlighted vehicle. The first option on this menu is New Deal. When the New Deal submenu opens, we can then slide over to the right and select the type of deal we wish to create. Another option is to go to the top left corner of DeskManager and click on File, and from the File menu we can then open the new submenu. The submenu allows us to choose a new retail deal, a new wholesale deal, or even a new fleet deal. Let us take this opportunity to look at a wholesale deal. The wholesale deal is the easiest kind of deal to create in DeskManager. We will use this menu option to begin our deal. When the wholesale window opens, the first thing we need to do is enter or select a vehicle. This is done by either typing the stock number of the vehicle or use the last 6 digits of the VIN. If neither of these choices are available, then click the down arrow to the right of the vehicle field. This opens a list of all the available vehicles in the DeskManager inventory. Scroll down the list to find the vehicle to be sold. Click on the desired vehicle, and its information will populate the necessary fields of the wholesale deal. If the vehicle has a wholesale book value entered onto the vehicle details screen, that value will populate the sale price field here in the wholesale deal. The value may be changed if so desired by entering a new value into the field. If any accessories are being sold along with the vehicle, add their sale price here. If necessary, we can also update the vehicle's mileage using this field. Next, we have the company name field, where we need to enter the name of the wholesale customer. As with the vehicle field, using the down arrow on the company name field allows us to scroll through and select from a list of existing customers. Another way to use this list is to type in the first few letters of the company we are looking for. Next, when we click on the down arrow, the list will jump to the closest matching name, making it easier to select a company that is farther into the list without having to scroll down repeatedly. If the current customer is new and has not yet been used in DeskManager, you can just enter in their information. If the wholesale customer is another dealer or an auction, enter their dealer number in this field here. Enter as much of this information as you need for this customer. If you plan on using DeskManager's QuickBooks Direct interface, you will want to make sure to include the customer's zip code in the deal. Last, if required by your local Department of Motor Vehicles, enter the report of sale number here. When you are finished and all the data is correct, click on the Save button. You have just completed and saved a wholesale deal. Now, if we switch to the Deal Trade tab in DeskManager, we can use the Reload button to refresh the Deal Trade list view, and now we can see the new wholesale deal in the Deal Trade list area. Similar to the inventory window, at the top of the Deal Trade window is the deal list. Below the deal list is a balance information bar displaying various figures for the current highlighted deal. Below this is the deal recap area. To the left is a recent deal tree view window similar to the make and model tree from the inventory page. The information displayed here will depend on filters applied under the advanced search area. We will look at the quick find and advanced search areas a little later in the demonstration. Similar to the inventory page, the Deal Trade page has a new button that can be used as another way to begin a new deal in DeskManager. For this demonstration, we will use this new button to begin a new retail deal. After clicking the New button, the Deal Trade window opens. When we start a new deal from inside the Vehicle Details window, or by using the right-click menu, DeskManager will bring the selected car into the deal for us. On the other hand, if we use the File New option, the keyboard shortcut, or the New button here on the Deal Trade page, the system does not know what vehicle we wish to sell. If we know the stock number, we can enter that into the deal here. If we do not know the stock number, we can view the available inventory by clicking on the Inventory List button, and the program will present an Inventory List window displaying the currently available vehicles in DeskManager. To select a vehicle from the list, highlight a vehicle and click the Open button, or double-click on the vehicle to be sold. If the vehicle we brought into the deal was given an asking price while it was in inventory, that asking price will populate the cash price field here in the deal. This does not mean that that value is set. It can be changed at any time while we are working with the deal. If there are any accessories being sold with this vehicle, click the little button to the right of the Accessories field to access the accessories list. The accessories list allows us to include up to 12 accessories in the sale of this vehicle. Start by entering each accessory being sold in the column on the left. Then, in the column on the right, enter the sale price of each accessory. When finished, click the Save button at the bottom of the page. The rest of the fields appearing in the first column are going to vary from state to state. These fields are used to track local fees and taxes that will apply depending on the state for which DeskManager has been configured. DeskManager can also be configured for dealerships with multiple locations, even when these locations are spread across different states. Each location can be set up with its own lot profile. By selecting the lot belonging to the state where the deal will take place, DeskManager will present a deal screen appropriate to this state. The copy of DeskManager used to create this demo was configured for California, so what we are seeing here are California-related fees and taxes. The DeskManager tax table has also been designed to function as needed for all states. We can access the tax table from this button inside a deal next to the county code field. This copy of DeskManager currently has the California city and county rates loaded into the tax table. Adding a new rate to the table is a simple process. Just click on the New button. When setting up entries in the tax table, you have the option of listing a city rate, a county, and a county rate. Depending on the state you are located in, the other rate field may be used as well. Below the rate settings, let DeskManager know if you need to have the trade vehicle credit or new vehicle manufacturer's rebate deducted from the taxable sale when calculating sales tax. When finished, save the entry into the system. Depending on the state you are working in, the deal may have extra tool buttons that allow for other calculations. Here, for example, California has an option to calculate license fees according to values entered into the Deal Default Values section of the DeskManager Setup tool. From this point on, the rest of the fields we will be reviewing are common to every state. Starting at the top of the center column, this field is where we will record the price of a service contract or an extended warranty that we are selling to the customer. In this next field, we can record the sale price of the gap insurance we are selling to the customer. In this pull-down field, we can name the company providing the gap insurance. If necessary, we can add a company as we go, or select a previously added company from the list. Should we ever need to sell the customer credit life, credit disability, or some form of vehicle insurance, click this button to access the Statement of Insurance form. Depending on the options that are selected and the values that are entered into the different premium fields, the program will add the different premium records here, and then after we exit from the tool, the various premiums will be totaled, and that figure will be displayed here. Next, we have the field where we record the cash down that the customer is putting into the deal immediately. Below the cash down field, we have the field for total deferred. If you take deferred down payments, also referred to as pickup payments, click the little button to the right of the total deferred field, and the program will open the Deferred Payments Schedule window. Here, we can record up to 6 different deferred payments. In the first column to the left, record the amount the customer is promising to pay. Then, in the column to the right, we can record the date the customer is promising to make the payment. When finished entering the deferred payments, use the Save button to record them into the deal. The program will display the total of the recorded deferred payments here, and they will add to the total down that is being collected as part of this deal. The next 2 fields, Total Trade-In and Total Payoff, will be calculated by the program depending on information we enter into the Trades tab. The Trades tab allows us to take in 2 different trade-in vehicles for any deal we create. Start with the first trade vehicle by entering its VIN into this field. Next, click on the VIN check button to have DeskManager decode the vehicle, just like we would when adding a new vehicle to inventory. Continue by filling out any other fields for which you have information. This information does not need to be filled in immediately. It could also be dealt with at the time the vehicle is added back into inventory or even afterwards. Over to the right in this field here, we will record the credit the customer will receive towards the deal for the first trade vehicle. Next, we record the payoff balance remaining, if any, on the first trade vehicle. In this last field, we enter into the system the actual cash value, or the ACV, for this first trade vehicle. At the bottom, we can denote to whom this trade vehicle is registered. If this deal involves a second trade, click on the Second Trade tab and repeat this process for that second vehicle. Later, after the deal has been saved using one of our sold options, this button will be used to push the trade vehicle into the inventory section of the program. During that process, the trade vehicle will be assigned a stock number. The program will take the values entered for the trade vehicles and total those figures into these 2 fields, Total Trade-In and Total Payoff. Before we move on through the deal, now is a good time to review the CAP button up here on the left. CAP is short for Costs and Profits. This page provides a general idea of where you stand while you are working a deal. We can also record some of our deal-related costs in here as well. For example, this field is where we can record our cost for the warranty we are selling to the customer. Next is the field we can use to record our cost for gap insurance we are selling. Here is also where your cost for any credit insurance being sold can be recorded. The program will also show the ACV figures entered for the different trade vehicles. When over or under allowing on a trade vehicle, the system will show that difference. Don't forget to click the Save button so the figures entered here are recorded into the system. Below the figure for the total payoff is where we record the lender that should receive the trade vehicle payoff. You can type in the lender information for one-time use, or it can be selected from a list of finance companies that have previously been added to DeskManager by clicking the down arrow. Finance companies may be added through the third-party section of the Setup tool, the third-party section of the Reports menu, or they can be added through the Financing tab of a deal. The final field in this second column is used for manufacturer's rebates, should you ever need to apply a rebate when selling a new vehicle. The final column on the right is where the payment structure will be defined for this deal. How this area will be used will vary depending on the type of deal we are creating. For example, if we are creating a cash deal, we will set the number of payments to 1. After changing the contents of a field in this column, once we click into another field, hit the Tab or the Enter key on the keyboard, the program will register that a change was made, and then the rest of the fields will update accordingly. As we see here for our cash deal, the interest rate has been set to 0, and the frequency is now set to 1 pay. For a Buy Here Pay Here deal, we just need to make sure the number of payments is set to anything greater than 1. What is most important for the Buy Here Pay Here deal is to make sure the interest rate you will be charging has been entered. Or if you are in a state that uses the add-on rate, the system can be configured to use that as well. Next, check that the frequency of the customer's payments has been selected. DeskManager can work with monthly, semi-monthly, bi-weekly, and weekly frequencies when creating a deal. Finally, we want to make sure the first payment due date is set correctly. Because the program uses the sale date as the beginning date of the loan for calculating the interest that is owed, the farther out the first payment due date is set, the greater the amount of interest that will have been accrued by that payment date. Again, after making changes to any field, be sure to press Tab or Enter on the keyboard, or click into another field in order to have the program recognize the change, and if necessary, recalculate the deal. Now that we have this information entered into the deal structure, we can now work with our customer in order to reach a payment figure that is within their means. To do this, we will use this button at the top of the page to open the rollback tool. The program now has a new window open for us to work with. The rollback tool gives us many options as to how we can alter a deal in order to reach a specific figure. In the case of the Buy Here, Pay Here deals, most dealers will work with one of the three bottom options. First, we select the option to work with by clicking on the text so the radio button moves to the appropriate option. In this example, we will work with the Adjust Term of Loan option. Depending on the rollback option selected, the tool will look for a figure to work towards. In this case, the figure will be the payment amount we wish to collect from the customer each period. After entering the desired figure, click on the Calculate button, and the program will adjust the deal according to the option selected in order to achieve the desired figure. After completing the rollback, the system has our payments set at $200 per period. To achieve this, the number of payments has been increased to 32. Notice the L next to the payment figure. This signifies that the payment figure is locked. Should we wish to roll back to a new figure, we must first unlock the payment. Using the Reset button inside the rollback tool will unlock the payment figure. Typically, when building a deal in the system, you may find yourself moving from tab to tab, filling out different information depending on the part of the deal you are working upon. For this demo, we will review the rest of the features in the order they appear. Next, we will examine the Customer tab. There are many different ways to bring your customer's information into the Customer tab when creating a new deal. If this person came in to do a test drive one day, why not add their information to the Prospects area so later you can follow up with them and hopefully make a sale. If you do find a vehicle they are interested in, when building the deal, use the Prospects List button to retrieve their information from the Prospects area. When you have found their information on the customer list, double-click, and it will populate into the Customer section of the current deal. If you have purchased one of our driver's license scanners, this button will populate the deal screen with information scanned from the driver's license. If the person you are working with happens to be a previous customer, or if you have already pulled this customer's credit report, click the bottom button to search the customer and credit records for their information. Start by entering all or part of either a first or a last name into the search window. Next, click OK, and the program will return a list of possible matches. From this list, select the customer by double-clicking on their entry. The selected customer's information will now populate the current deal. We can collect similar information for a co-buyer as well. As we can see here, the Co-Buyer tab is similar to the Customer tab. Like the Customer tab, we also have buttons here should you need to record a mailing address, a previous address, and employment information. After the deal has been saved into the system, the Credit Application button will become available and more information may be recorded here for both the customer and the co-buyer. On the left side of the Co-Buyer tab, the system allows us to select to whom the vehicle should be registered. Next, we have the Products tab. If we are selling the customer an extended warranty or service contract, This first section on the left is where we will be recording the information about the warranty company and what type of warranty we are selling. This center section is where we will record the information about the insurance provided by the customer. The final section on the right is set aside for the electronic gap tool. For more information about the electronic gap tool, contact your AutoManager account rep. Let's go back to the Trades tab for a moment. As noted before, the program has the ability to take two different vehicles in trade for any deal. Should you need to add a second vehicle, just click the Second Trade tab. Fill out the second trade vehicle's information just like we did for the first trade vehicle. You will not be able to use the Add Trade to Inventory button until the deal has been saved using one of the three sold options. When the trade vehicle is added to inventory, the program will assign a stock number based on the option selected in Setup. You will be given the option to alter that stock number before the vehicle is saved. Now we shall review the Financing tab. If this deal is going to be a Buy Here, Pay Here deal, on this page mark the Financed In-House box. And the system will begin thinking of this as a Buy Here, Pay Here deal. When the deal is going to be financed by a third party, or sometimes when it will be a cash deal, we will want to put the name of the finance company here so that they will later show on our contracts as the lien holder of the vehicle. If the finance company has already been added to the system, select them from the list of finance companies found here, or they can be added to the system using the Add New feature. If we have recorded the address information for the finance company when they were added to the system, it will appear in the window here. Our relationship with the finance company will determine how the rest of the fields are filled out. For example, if we are getting points on the financing, the system will allow you to enter a buy rate for the loan paper here. The program will calculate for us the difference between the buy rate and the sell rate and place that figure in the settlement field. If the bank is only paying us a portion of the settlement when we get the loan check, we can enter the percentage they are going to immediately pay us as the reserve rate here. After clicking into the next field, the program will recalculate the settlement according to the percentage rate entered into the reserve rate field. The balance is recorded in the reserve amount field to the right. If we are not working with a percentage rate but with fixed settlement amounts, instead of entering the percentages, leave those fields blank and just put the dollar amount of the settlement into the system. Typically, a deal will not contain both a settlement and a discount. We are adding a discount to show the function of these fields for the demonstration. Like earlier fields on this page, we can enter a percentage and have the program calculate the amount when we click into another field. Or, with either the settlement or the discount fields, instead of entering rates, we can put fixed dollar amounts into the field and the program will work with those instead. Currently, the last tab we have to work with here is the Notes tab. The Notes tab is a place where any kind of information relating to this deal can be recorded. Click the New Note button to add a note. In the new note, we have a large area where we can type information we need to record about the current deal. Where this becomes very handy is with the Reminders section. By setting this notification date to a date in the future, this note becomes a reminder. When we log into DeskManager on that day, this note will pop up along with any other reminders set for that day. Also notice there is an on and an off switch in the reminder area. When a note reminder is set to on, it is considered a priority note. Priority notes also pop up when you log into DeskManager on the day set as the notification date, but they will continue to pop up every day after this until they are turned off. Another feature of the priority note is that it will also pop up the next time somebody opens this deal to work with this customer, or when this customer is selected from the Buy Here, Pay Here page. By doing this, the person working with the deal or collecting from the customer will see the note before they can continue with that customer. This gives us an easy way to be sure special instructions or information about this deal is displayed to the person currently working with that customer. We can save the deal at any time we need to, so the information we have recorded will not become lost in the event of a power outage or some computer disaster. Clicking on the Save button will present us with a window of choices as to how to save the deal into the system. We might want to save a deal as pending if there is still work that needs to be done on the deal, or if we just want to record what we have completed so far into the system. Think of a pending deal as a work in progress. When we are ready to lock the figures in place, then we will select one of the three sold options. Sold retail will be used to signify a cash deal or a third-party finance deal. Sold retail Buy Here, Pay Here is used when you are acting as the finance company and will be collecting the payments. Deals saved with this option will be displayed on the Buy Here, Pay Here screen. Immediately below the Save options are choices that will apply only to Buy Here, Pay Here deals. These deal with how the program will calculate the next payment due date and how it will apply late payments to the deal. These can be defaulted in setup, but changed here if necessary for a specific deal. The last option is used should we wish to save a deal as wholesale. For now, we will leave this deal as pending and save it into the system. After the deal is saved into the system for the first time, a number of features that were previously locked and some new items are now made available. Let us begin looking at these new features, starting with the Recap tab. The Recap tab is broken down into three different areas. First, on the left is the Cost area, where we break down the various costs on the vehicle, as well as our cost for items sold in the deal. In the center is the Profit area, where we detail the profit on the different aspects of the deal. The area on the right is set aside for additional information and access to the Commissions tool. At this point, you may have noticed the cost values we entered earlier into the cap sheet for warranty and for gap are not showing up here. This is because the deal is currently a pending deal. If we open the cap sheet again, we can see the figures entered earlier are still recorded here. When we save the deal as one of the sold options, these costs will be applied to the deal for us. We shall use the sold retail option to demonstrate this. Now that the deal has been saved as sold, we can see the cap sheet cost items have been recorded. Towards the bottom of the center column, we find the front end, back end, and gross profit figures. There is a section in the setup where these different profits can be defined. DeskManager will present you a list of items we can use. You will mark the things you wish to include and unmark the things you do not want included when we calculate your profit. If you are still curious as to how this figure was reached, click the little button to the right of the profit value in question, and a new window will appear where we will detail the figures that the program started with, what was added, and what was subtracted in order to reach the profit figure we have displayed. Next, we shall take a look at the Commission tool. When using the built-in commission calculator, if an employee is entered into the field Rep 1 or Rep 2 and they are given a percentage rate, that rate will be based on the front-end profit figure. If the dealer has entered a pack figure into the deal, the pack amount will be deducted from the front-end profit prior to calculating the commission amount. If an employee is entered into the closer or F&I field and given a percentage rate, this rate will be based on the back-end profit figure. After clicking on the Save button, the program has calculated the commission for us, as we see here. If our commission calculator is unable to calculate the commission for you for any reason, just leave the percentage fields blank. Instead of entering a percentage rate, enter the dollar amount you will be paying as commission to this rep. You will still be able to use the commission tools to record how much and when you paid commission for this deal, and you will be able to use any of the commission vouchers the program will print. With the commission information saved, the totals will appear in the commission field in the center column. This amount will then be deducted from the gross profit when calculating the net profit. Another new tab we now have access to is the Payments tab, the fourth tab from the right. When working with cash deals, third-party finance deals, and with wholesale deals, you will need to track your collections here on the Payments tab. When working with Buy Here, Pay Here deals, most all the functions available here are also available on the Buy Here, Pay Here page. Click the Collect Payment button when you are ready to begin collections on this deal. The program will examine the type of deal that was created and the outstanding balances. Next, it will determine what type of payment needs to be collected. If the program sees there is a balance left on the down payment, the program will attempt to collect this first. If the program detects there were deferred payments set up, it will attempt to collect those next. Finally, if the program sees this is a retail or a wholesale deal, it will attempt to collect the remaining balances due. If the deal was saved as a Buy Here, Pay Here deal, then the program will attempt to collect the periodic payments and apply interest and principal as necessary. Enter the amount you are collecting from the customer in this field here. In this field, if we care to, we can select how this amount was paid to us. Here, we can list any reference numbers related to this payment. When collecting a periodic payment for a Buy Here, Pay Here deal, depending on the settings selected, the program will determine if the requirements have been met to advance the next payment due date. Here we have an option for a callback reminder. Once the next payment due date is known, we can, if necessary, set this callback date. A callback is like a notes reminder. It will pop up on the date selected for this customer so we can call them to remind them about their next payment. At the bottom, we have a field where we can record any notes regarding this payment collection. After the payment has been saved into the system, DeskManager will open a receipt printing window. There are a number of different receipt formats, as well as options for different figures to be displayed or hidden. Select the desired receipt type and then click Print. A number of payment-related items from the Print menu have been included here in the BHPH Print menu for your convenience. A number of Buy Here, Pay Here related tools from the Options menu have been included here in the Actions menu for a similar convenience. For any type of finance deal, the system can also display an amortization schedule. This schedule will list the payment due dates, days since last payment due date, payment amount, interest and principal figures, and totals so the customer can see how the loan will progress if all payments are made in full and on time. After all the balances due to you have been collected and recorded, so the values in the lower right balance section have been reduced to 0, clicking on this button will close the account. When the account is closed, it is not removed from the system, but the data will remain for historical purposes. It will just no longer be visible with the rest of the current open deals. In the case of a Buy Here, Pay Here deal, it will no longer appear on the Buy Here, Pay Here list. Another feature available now that the deal has been saved into the system is the Print menu. Here we will find the generic, built-in printing features that may be useful when working with DeskManager. Some of the items on this list can be customized completely, others may be customized partially, and the rest are fixed as you see them. Next, we have the Options button. The Options menu presents us with many different tools we can use when working with deals in DeskManager. Tools that allow a vehicle buyback, changing of next payment due dates, marking of payments as void, or applying bounce check fees are examples of some of the items found here. Next to the Options button is one of the most important features of the deal creation process, the Forms printing menu. When we first enter the Forms tool, we are presented with the selected forms list. This is a list of the forms that we have selected for use from the Forms library. We can access the Forms library from this page using this button in the upper right corner. There are a number of different ways to find forms in the library. The forms are listed in the order they were added to the system. To review the list easily, click the column header for form name, and the list will be sorted alphabetically by that column. The resulting list will have the forms starting with the letter A at the bottom, moving towards the end of the alphabet as you move up the list. If you know the form number or want to search for a form by words found in the title, enter the form number or the word you wish to search for in the search field at the lower right. After entering the item to search for, click the search button, and the system will present a list of all the forms that contain your search criteria. After you have finished selecting forms from the Forms library, be sure to click on the Save Selections option to record these forms to your selected forms list. When you are ready to print a form from your selected forms list, double-click on the desired form. You will be asked to load the form into your printer, then click the Print button to begin printing. When first printing a form, you may need to fine-tune the margins to get the form to print just right. But once those margins are set, the program will always remember those settings for that form and attempt to use them again the next time. The Open button can be used to open the highlighted deal, same as double-clicking on the deal. To delete a deal from the system, it must be of a status pending or worksheet. Mark the box to the left of the deal to be removed, then click the Delete button. Print will present a list of marked deals from the deal trade list. Reload will refresh the list of deals. QuickBooks will launch the QuickBooks Batch Posting tool, which will be reviewed in another demonstration video. Quick Deal will open a tool similar to the Deal tool to allow the dealer to quickly show numbers to a customer. Follow-ups will open the Follow-up tool, and this too will be reviewed in another demonstration video. On the left side of the screen is the Deal Trade Quick Find. It functions similar to the Inventory Quick Find. Select a field to search in, enter the data to search for, then click on the search. The Deal Trade Advanced Search Filter works the same as the Inventory Advanced Search Filter. Select the filtering options from the menu, and in each case a blank option is available so as to not filter by that item. Once filtering options have been selected, click on the Search button to apply the filters. Below the Advanced Search tool is the Deal Tree View, and this too is similar to the Inventory Tree View. Deals marked as one of the sold options will be grouped by year and then by month. This concludes the Deal Trade demonstration video. Thank you very much for your time and your interest in our DeskManager product.